Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to PhazeCast. My name is Joe. This is Eric. We are Jeox Xygni, and we're here to talk about nerdy shit because, it's 2021. That's what you do. The first thing I'd like to talk about, though, trailer for the new Sonic movie came out, Eric. Trailer for the new Sonic movie came out. We have talked before in the past about how, movies based on video games suck ass. Sonic was an exception, actually. That was not a bad video game movie, and I think this next one's going to be pretty good from the trailer. What do you think?
First off, I disagree. I think that Sonic was generally a pretty bad movie with a bunch of unrelated jokes and a weird 90s vibe to it that I didn't fully understand.
Sonic is always a 90s vibe, you fucking clod. You tell me a dude who runs around eating chili dogs saying, "Whoa, too slow," is not 90s. Like, that's the vibe.
But the thing about it is that it's a 90s vibe. I mean, Sonic created that 90s vibe. It's a vibe in its own universe that I feel like they didn't give enough credit to also. Like, there's a moment in that movie where you see Sonic's world, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm down for this. And then he goes and, like, fights crime with James Marsden, and I'm like, no, I'm not really down for this part. So it was a little disappointing in this new trailer to see that they didn't really... They're still working heavily on...
compared to other video game movies.
Yeah, but it was a little disappointing to see that they're still working heavily on bringing Sonic's universe, like, into our universe rather than letting his own universe shine. That bothers me.
That would be a full CGI movie, and we have live-action characters to deal with. Yeah. And the last time we did, like, a full CGI world with live-action characters was, like, Spy Kids 3, and I don't want that again. Don't react to Spy Kids. Don't.
So, but I feel like the live-action aspect of Sonic works about as well as the human beings that show up in the overworld of Sonic 06. It feels sort of like that to me.
I think they have way more character, and I think you just want it in Sonic's world, which is fine. But when we're talking about just video game movies and how Hollywood's going to handle it, I think this is the best we're ever going to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
You ever watch the Blood Rain movies? Those sucked.
No, but I have an understanding of Uwe Boll and his monstrous effect on the video game world.
What about Tomb Raider movies?
No. I should see the Tomb Raider.
The new one apparently looked okay.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying.
They're definitely doing the new iteration of Lara Croft, which is actually good. Have you played the new Tomb Raider version games?
Not much.
Dude, they're good. They're fun. They're fun little action games, adventure games.
It sort of lost me on how much I need to camp, but
just climb. It's climbing.
No, I know. Well, see, and so we've talked about it a little bit. I'm a huge fan of Uncharted, so I sort of started playing that new Tomb Raider and thought, well, I could just play Uncharted instead.
I think it's better than Uncharted because it had better combat and gameplay. Because Uncharted to me felt like I was on a ride. Yeah. Like, all right, it's time to move forward and press the button and shoot the guy.
That.
That is exactly what Uncharted feels like. I played the first one, and after the first 30 to 40 minutes, I'm like, this is not exciting.
The first one is definitely not the best one.
Do they change moving down a certain level? Do they change that?
Is it just moving down how?
It feels like I'm on a railroad track and I have to follow it.
Yeah, I think that does sort of get resolved later on.
But I have to get through a whole... Later on? How far later on? Do I have to get through 2 games?
No. I think after the first one. Uncharted 2 is a masterpiece.
A masterpiece?
Yeah, it's very good. And I mean, I don't know. It's sort of like... So there are games that sort of put you in rooms, basically, and have you... solve the thing. Like BioShock Infinite is sort of that way, and Uncharted and The Last of Us, Naughty Dog does that I think quite often, and if that's what you're referring to, it never really gets any better than that. If there's a little more openness to Tomb Raider, then fine, but
there is openness to Tomb Raider, just because you do kind of railroad, but it's mostly unlock this part of the map and then explore more things and go back to it when you have better equipment to kind of Metroidvania-esque, you know?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Because like, oh, I can only get there with this equipment, and I can't do that yet. I found this. Let's go back to that, do this thing. Yeah.
Right. Right. All right. Well, listen. we're not
Speaking of
talking
video
about
games. Isn't there something you want to talk about?
Wait, Sonic.
Oh.
Go back to the Sonic trailer.
What? Okay, Sonic trailer. We
Sonic
we got Tails. Talking exactly and sounding exactly like Tails. It's a very good representation of Tails. We got Idris Elba Knuckles, who, in the trailer, do we care if is this? Hey, spoiler alert for the Sonic 2 trailer, guys. Spoiler alert.
You have to give
Sonic,
everybody that notice.
Yeah, Sonic goes to attack this new thing, and it turns out it's Knuckles. And he does the spin dash move, and Knuckles just holds his hand up and is holding him like that, and then just fucking plants him. And then we see our boy, being Eggman, just going like, "Have you met Knuckles?" Because he's weird and crazy. And,
is Knuckles hired by Eggman?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Knuckles canonically is stupid. He falls for Eggman's tricks several times.
Yeah, he does.
Eggman's like, "Hey, this guy's after the Chaos Emeralds, and I'm a good guy. That makes sense. I'm gonna punch the thing." This is what's happening.
That likely is the thing.
Yeah, he had a
Knuckles,
really cool reveal where he's like, "I don't want your power. I'm strong. I'm Knuckles. I'm voiced by Idris Elba now, so I'm badass." Like, that was a cool, like, oh, is he a villain? When really it's probably just Eggman being like, he's the bad guy. Got it, Eggman. Punch.
You're right. That probably is what's happening. What I want to know, though, is when Rouge the Bat is going to show up and how sexy.
Oh, she'll be in the post. She'll be in the post-credit scene.
Like on a scale of
Amy.
1 to 10.
With Amy. They'll both be in the post-credit scene. And they're not going to be sexy, and I need you to never say that to me again.
That
please.
bat did something to me, I think, as a kid in Sonic Adventure. I was like, is this bat hot?
In Sonic Adventure?
I think it was the first Sonic Adventure that she was in. Or maybe it was Sonic Adventure 2. I can't remember. They all blend together. Although, what stands out is the Chow Garden in the GameCube version. But no, there's something about that bat, man.
I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. But also, I don't want to fuck anything Sonic related.
I guess this is what, you were saying last week, I think, about how Sonic fandom divides
It's all
up.
about a bunch of people wanting to fuck them in different ways?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean dividing them up. Oops.
And I think I realized that the reason that I want to defend that statement is because I'm one of them, possibly.
Yeah, you want to fuck a bat, dude.
Well, I just want to see if she wants to hang out.
You want to see her tits. It's fine. Like that, we can all agree. You don't, like, everybody in the world be like, that bat's got some big tits.
Listen,
like, they knew what they were doing when they gave that bat those big tits.
I was like 10. It was that bat and the wives in Harvest Moon, I guess. That was and the Warcraft elves.
What do you mean the wives in Harvest Moon? Are we talking about the flat pixels that were what?
Oh, I don't know. Just some of them were kind of cute.
Let's see. Yes.
I like,
No, you're good. You're good. I don't kink shame here.
Relative to my other options, which were, I don't know.
Who were people?
No, I guess I really didn't have any other options at 10.
I mean, you had people at 10.
What people at 10, Joe? Nobody.
Topanga.
Oh, I see. Like fictional human people.
Yeah. When I was 10, it was Topanga. At the age of 29, it's still Topanga.
Really?
Have you seen Topanga lately?
No, I haven't seen.
See Girl Meets World?
No, I didn't see.
I saw Girl Meets World. Just because I love that show. I love Feeney. I love Eric Matthews is my favorite character on that show because the older brother is hilarious. But Topanga. Are you Googling an image of Topanga in 2021? Because you should.
No, I'm not. I don't know where my phone... Here, hold on. Let me see.
It's fine. We don't have to listen.
Is her name... Her name is not Topanga.
Yeah, but if you Google Topanga 2021, you're gonna find Topanga. I'm not attracted to... Yeah, oh, damn.
Oh, damn. She looks good.
Yeah, oh, damn.
Good for her.
Yeah, Topanga.
She looks possibly better than she did.
Listen, you need to love all of Topanga in every stage, or get out of this
Than
podcast.
she used to. Much like Laura Dern.
Who?
Laura Dern. I've talked about how hot I think Laura Dern is when she's 60 for some reason, versus like Laura Dern in Jurassic Park. Right. Laura Dern in Jurassic Park. I guess it's because she was wearing, combat pants. But no, I was like, man,
it's fine. She was wearing shorts in that movie, but okay.
I'm racking my, as we're having this discussion, I'm racking my brain trying to think of some human female that I was attracted to when I was 10 and not a cartoon.
Like, none all in between the ages of, 10 to 18.
I can't
You had none.
Oh, well, when I was, 18, yeah, dude, Megan
Okay,
Fox.
what about 10 to 13? 10 to 13.
That's what I'm trying to... It was just cartoon characters.
I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. You're a well-adjusted human being now. You have a fiance and a kid.
This has been a real sexual discovery for me.
Yeah.
Well, as I continue to reflect on that in my own brain, I do also want to talk about the Star Wars game that was announced by Quantic Dream.
Oh, hey, before we do that, before we talk about the Star Wars game by Quantic Dream, to stay on the topic of Sonic, he is getting an open world game.
Oh, god damn it, you're right. We should talk about that stupid open world. It's not stupid.
We know nothing about it. There was a trailer that was released.
I know.
The map looks weird and pretty, and
But can you imagine Sonic bumping around that thing?
He's just running around the world.
Just like in Sonic 06, are you kidding?
It's
not open.
It's been 15 years. I hope that we can figure out how to run around an open field better. I hope that. But I don't think it's going to be. But if you're going to do a game about a speedster, an open world game like that is probably your best bet. I just don't see a lot of villains and a lot of things to do in the trailer that we were given.
Well,
also,
I think it's very early stages.
Yeah, it also looks weirdly Data-y.
Like there was science fiction-y?
There was a science fiction square Data thing around his spin at one point.
And the robot at the end. And then they have sort of a glitch effect. They're like...
Yeah. Yeah. Is Sonic just in a world running around in his brain or in a computer? And also, was this the map they were going to use for a potentially Shadow of the Colossus 2, but instead we gave it to Sonic? Because that's the vibe I got. I'm like... This looks like a Shadow of Colossus 2. This would be great for that. And there's even a giant robot. Why is Sonic here? Damn it.
Instead of having to climb like a Colossus very slowly and methodically, you have to
now
do
Sonic.
Whoa! Do the Sonic dash to a bunch of little balls along
Time
the
to
side
run
of
up this leg.
Yeah, no thank you.
Whoa, I dodged the fist and the fist is stuck in the ground. Time to run up the fist and hit him in its weak spot.
I just don't think that's gonna be good. I think you're right, because I think that the point of showing such a big monster is that you're going to have to scale that thing.
Yeah.
And there are aspects of Sonic's 3D gameplay where I could see climbing going into play, where you have to sort of hone in on stuff and target it. And
Sonic has changed its 3D gameplay when they did the whole Sonic Boom series.
Oh, I never played that.
It's more like a weird platform. Almost. This is a weird comparison. You ever play the Shrek 2 video game?
I did.
Which is actually a fire video game. That was a good ass video game. Anyway,
I have it on the GameCube. It's fun.
Maybe we should. Yeah, never mind. We won't play that. But there was that. It's it's made for multiple people to control different characters at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
There are platform puzzles, and each character has a unique ability or unique area that they can traverse due to their powers.
Yeah.
But it wasn't I'm Sonic, running through a 3D level that's really hard to understand as you're going so fast, and mashing X a lot just to hit homing targets. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was like kind of a brawler, platformer thing. And I don't know how... Sonic is interesting in that its gameplay does not transfer well to the 3D medium initially. And they have to and I think that they keep on going back to things that they do in prior 3D games, trying to make it work when I think inherently it doesn't work. We should try something else. What the fuck are we doing? With an open world, I think that's a good way to maybe change that. Open world speedster game has been something I've wanted for a while, like a Flash game or something like that. But I don't know. I hope that they go a different way with it and maybe try to figure some way to make the open world be a good functioning part of the game. Or if they're just going to be like, we have 2 days to ship it and we just finished the trailer, so we put Sonic in this world that's completely empty.
See, and that's a fear. A lot of games, I feel like, have just been empty and unfinished lately.
Empty open worlds are the worst thing. It's a sin.
And we can talk more about how much I hate Fallout 76 some other time, Joe. But
I haven't played it.
But my thing with Sonic is that he there's so much to do with flow in a good Sonic game that, you know, even in the earlier Sonic games, it's like jarring because if you do the wrong thing, you like hit a wall and you stop. But you have to have that ability to continue to flow through it, and that's where later Sonic games sort of mess up sometimes. Like Sonic 06 is the best example of that.
I mean, the game about going fast, you slow down too much.
Exactly. So, but and it's okay to slow down enough as long as you can achieve that flow and the speed. And if you have the rhythm of the game, you can do it. And that's where like Sonic 06, you just can't really get there. And it works in like Sonic Adventure 2 sometimes. But so that's my big concern with that is that if you're stopping so much that you can never even do that,
the thing,
then that's a problem. But they've sort of achieved that in other open world games like Infamous and the Spider-Man game have a flow to them where you can stop.
Spider-Man has great flow when it comes to like going fast and then. But I think that's inherent to Spider-Man as a character, to stop and fight things.
But I mean, the reason that Spider-Man game works so well, I think, is because they worked on Infamous prior to that, and that has the same sort of flow to it, even though it's not Spider-Man. And so I think it can be done. You can, in those games, you can stop wherever you want and do whatever it is you want, but you can also choose not to and then just continue to like bounce from building to building.
It would be nice to have like a weird open world Sonic game where you like can be super fast across the map, but you have to slow down in order to handle situations, because that's how speedsters actually do things too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that would be good. It's not going to happen.
It needs a good balance of that, and you're right. That's what I'm concerned
with. It's not going to happen.
But it has been proven. There are games that prove that it can be done.
100%.
So there is a possibility that maybe they'll pull it off.
Maybe. We'll see.
Sonic 2, the movie.
You know what game had actually one of the best like speedster running mechanics I've ever seen?
What?
Saints Row.
Really? Which one?
Yeah. The last one.
No.
Saints Row is a game about being a gangster.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I played Saints Row 2 and I feel like...
So you've never played Saints Row 4. All right,
no.
Let me show you. Okay, so Saints Row, right? Saints Row is about you're just a mook who rises up the ranks. In Saints Row 2, like after being tricked and being caught, your friends wake you up. And you take back the gang and you take back Stillwater. Saints Row 3, you guys are popular gang members somehow. Like, even though you are clearly a gang, you have an energy drink line, you have all this other shit, and people buy your products.
Ooh.
And then you end up, like, getting fucked by some people, end up in a different city, and rebuild the gang in a different city until, like, your boys come back and you start taking over again.
Right.
So it was a huge expansion thing. It was crazy. There was this awesome part in the game where you're on a helicopter. You're like, we're going to take this, like, giant, like, building, and I'm going to own the penthouse. It's going to be our new thing.
Right.
And when you jumped out, Kanye's Power starts playing, and it's so fucking rad. Anyway, Saints Row 4 happens, and you're the president of the United States of America. And as the president of the United States of America, you start passing laws. And then aliens attack, and they capture you, and they put you into their own Matrix-like world.
What?
Yeah.
They do?
They do. That's real. This is real. Saints Row 4 is about aliens coming over to take over the Earth, destroying the Earth, capturing some of you guys, and putting you in their own Matrix-like simulation. You then break out and start fighting against the simulation. So even though the game starts you in like, okay, I'm back in the normal world kind of, and I'm like, you know, stealing cars and stuff, this is the video game world. So after you steal your first car and park it and like, okay, this is how you get cars, you learn the ability to jump super fast and also run super fast and get superpowers. So then you almost never use vehicles in the game ever again. And it's a completely different game.
But you have superpowers as a gang member?
Yeah, because you're in a video game, you're in a weird simulation world.
Okay.
That's Saints Row 4. Did you not listen to the fact that you get abducted by aliens and then have to do all this stuff?
It doesn't necessarily mean that you get superpowers. I don't
You
really know
get abducted by aliens and then you get put into a video game world and you're like, oh, I'm in a video game world. We're going to hack it and give myself superpowers. Because I'm the president.
You know, that at least branches out from Grand Theft Auto quite a bit.
Dude, oh my god. If you haven't played Saints Row 4, you need to. Honestly, play the whole series. The first one's kind of like standard GTA.
Yeah, and so is the second one. From what
second one is, but it's got a deeper story with like, I want vengeance, I want this stuff, and it's good. And you know, whatever. The third one, we're having fun with it. One of the guys we're fighting is a luchador. It's great. Like, it's fucking so damn good and so crazy. The fourth one, you have weapons like the Pokanator, which causes a bunch of explosions while polka things happen. It's the dubstep gun. You haven't seen that shit?
Oh, that kind of reminds me of Destroy All Humans then.
Yeah. Except, you know, with gang members. They also it's so good. They take a crack at a romance in video games. Because, like, hey, you know, you do romance paths and everything. Every single character that you find and collect on your thing, you can talk to them and then you can hit the romance button.
Ooh.
And then you just have a scene with them. It doesn't matter what they are. One of them is literally just a robot ball. The other one, it's fucking hilarious. They take the piss out of a lot of video game tropes. It's great.
This is mostly unrelated, but did you ever play The Sims and then just get so determined to get two Sims together that you make them like stand in the rain telling jokes to each other for like 2 days straight?
No.
Okay, well, I guess it's just me.
No, never.
All right, that's fine.
You said you want to talk about the Star Wars Eclipse.
Star Wars
right?
Eclipse. Let me tell you, because so that trailer has very little real information in it, I guess. But what it did but what it did show is the Trade Federation ship and two different Nemodians. The High Republic era, right? That's like right before, well, like a couple hundred years before the Skywalker saga. So you've got the Trade Federation forming just before that. I think that the game is going to at least have something to do with the Trade Federation rising to power, because the High Republic era is like the time where they gained seats in the Senate and they amassed an army and they basically got ready to do what it is that they do in Episode 1. And if it's about that, I'm so psyched.
I don't know. It would have to be like, what? The High Republic era was between like 300 BBY and 82 BBY.
Yes.
That is before Battle of Yavin.
Yes. Yeah, before the...
I don't think that they were built... Who knows? Who knows how long it takes to mass produce droids. But there were some things that people were pointing out in that trailer. Like, they have that, like, weird... Like, it looked like a Dooku hilt, but with a yellow saber.
Oh, I didn't notice
like,
that.
People were like, oh, is that young Dooku? And I'm like, I don't know. It would be
Dooku
cool.
is my rap name.
So I don't know.
Laugh with me, Joe. All right, continue. Sorry.
Sorry. We see Yoda still looking old as fuck. And there's just like the weird like sludge thing with the sludge, like very very Guardians of the Galaxy-esque, where that guy is like dipped in a pool and he just comes up and he's covered in like black ink, and I'm like, all right, and there's drums. When I heard the drums, I thought, ooh, are we gonna get some Mongolian throat singing like in Fallen Order? Because I was a fan of that. That was cool as shit. But we didn't get it.
We might.
I mean, I want just a Fallen Order 2. I
Yeah,
don't
me
know
too.
anything about this game.
Me too.
So the company doing this game, Eric.
Yeah.
What are they known for?
Well, they're known for a lot of negative things, actually, as far as
Fuck,
the company
man.
structure goes. But they make good ass games. They made Indigo
What's the name of the
Prophecy, Quantic Dream.
Okay.
They made Indigo Prophecy, or Fahrenheit, as it's called in the UK, I believe. They did Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human. They're all sort of like choose your own adventure action games.
Oh, is that what this is going to be, you think?
And I think, well, it better be, because it's Quantic Dream. I can't imagine them branching out at this point further than that. But they're excellent. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite types of games in general. I just started playing Man of Medan, and I'm enjoying that too. But it's not to the level of Quantic Dream's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're very well made. And the choices that you make have, like, real weight to them. So to do that in, like, a Star Wars setting, I mean, it'll be like Knights of the Old Republic, sort of, in that sense. That you feel like when you're playing Knights of the Old Republic, like, oh, I killed that guy.
Knights of the Old Republic. Speaking of Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Getting a new game.
A new game?
Yeah,
Oh, the remake.
Old remake.
Yeah.
It's a new game.
Yeah.
Like no, I don't think you're saying like yeah, but like no, I'm not saying it's a re-release.
Yeah, well, they're doing
HD.
like the Final Fantasy VII thing, right, where they're kind of
that's what I think. And give it to me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
Listen, I just want more intimate scenes with Bastila Shan.
I don't remember who that is.
She's the waifu.
Oh, I don't remember who that is.
She's the only romantic choice if you're a guy.
She's not animated enough for me. She's too realistic.
She had battle meditation. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, that's what you meant by animated.
You know who I thought of?
What are your thoughts on the new Lola Bunny versus the old Lola Bunny?
Oh, see, and that's when I was a kid, Lola Bunny.
Okay, they made Lola Bunny sexual. They made her sexual. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, she had those little hot pants on. Anyway,
all right, you need to stop. Still a rabbit.
The lady in the Grinch though was a real human being. That when I was 10, I was like, whoa.
Lady and the Grinch, like the live-action Grinch, or the
yeah.
No, she was a Whovian. She had a weird dog nose.
Yeah.
They all have those weird noses. I don't understand. I don't like it.
I mean, I'm fine with the nose.
I'm not.
I'm
not weird. Button
what did you
nose
want
thing?
them? What did you want them to do in the live-action Grinch other than have those noses, Joe? What is their option?
I mean,
to just have normal-ass people walking around?
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes them different. Is the weird noses.
Yeah, because they have them in the book.
Yeah. You know what they also had in that movie, but wasn't in the book? A swinger party. Where
they have a swinger party!
They did! They fucking did! You're a child and you don't see it because you refuse to see it.
I am going to watch that movie in secret because my fiance will not let me watch it.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean she won't let you watch it?
She hates that movie.
Good. Well,
she
no,
hates
not
that
good.
Well, no, I mean, it's not like
it?
It's not like I like that movie, but I feel like if she was in the other end of the house,
no, you like that movie,
and I like turned it on, she'd be like, "Is that the fucking live action Grinch?"
Is she just afraid of it? She doesn't like the. What's wrong with it?
No, she's just a Grinch purist. Which I would
agree. What the fuck is wrong with your household? What the fuck is wrong? Oh, we are purists. Nothing shall be changed. Only the original of everything.
No, well, not only the original of everything.
Really? When I told you that Tobey Maguire wasn't my Spider-Man, you gave me this most hurt look on your face.
Well, he's not the original.
No, it's the 90s Voice acting Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's been around a long fucking time. You know, she's also a very big Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs purist.
What do you mean purist?
Like, she can't stand that movie.
That
because it doesn't
great.
follow the art style of... I agree. I think that movie's great. No,
it has a monkey fighting gummy bears on a plane.
Yeah.
Ripping out a gummy bear heart and eating it. That's
It's a very
great.
funny movie. I love that movie. Well, I don't love that movie, but I like it. But you know, as far as like the original book goes, she's like, no, it's not the style of the book. So that is why I love her. Because we can both complain about things like that together. Which brings me, I guess, to the point that you brought up.
Oh, hold on.
Last week.
I'm helping. Keep talking. I'm just building it up.
Are you getting to some sort of meditative place where you can handle this? Listen.
I'm harnessing all the rage I felt last week.
I like. No, don't get mad, Joe. It scares me when you get mad.
It's hard. Harnessing the rage is not using. Go on.
I like Hamilton.
We need to talk about Hamilton, by the way, guys. In case you didn't watch the episode last week, which you probably didn't, or whatever the fuck happened, this man gave me such a terrible take on Hamilton, and I would like to reiterate. Please reiterate your take. Reiterate your take.
I think that my take has mostly to do with just Broadway in general. I'm not. Well, first off, let me just say that I'm not in general a fan of many musicals. So inherently, I just don't have a lot of interest in that area. But Broadway in general sort of bothers me as being a classist thing, and I think that Hamilton's a good example of that. Where it just sort of it's like Broadway's like the Reaganomics of media, where it trickles down from this elite group of rich white people and then gets to the bottom, and they're like, "Here, you're welcome. We've gifted you this thing," and that really, on principle, hampers my enjoyment of really anything that comes out of Broadway, I guess. And I try not to let that kind of thing get to me. I think that it's you can do that with most things because there's no real ethical consumption under capitalism, Joe. But what are you warming up for this? What the fuck is going on?
No, keep going, it's fine.
You gonna beat me up from a different state?
No, it's fine.
So,
don't worry about it.
So Hamilton as a musical functions really well, and I think it's really great that kind of like diverse show got the exposure that it did, and I enjoy watching it. I'm not gonna sit there and watch it often, but it's a good. But just on principle, I also that it sort of falls into a category of like American propaganda that I am not a fan of either. Like it's basically the same to me as movies like Shooter or American Sniper, where they're like, yes, America, good, and glazes over a lot of really bad things that those people did in the sake of pushing out a product where everybody can go, good job, we did it as Americans, and I don't like that either.
That's the part right there. That part where you're like, oh, it's just pushing that, well, there's a lot of parts. There's a lot of fucking parts. But the part where you're like, oh, it's just pushing out a product where we can say, okay, we did it as Americans. You didn't see how fucked up America was during all of that? How, like, even though they didn't make it a big deal, there's several lines throughout the play that go against slavery, and they go against all the fucking negative things.
Yeah. Yeah, just doesn't really touch on it a whole lot. I think that's...
The story is about Alexander Hamilton being a fuck-up of a person while trying to get it all and live the American dream. That's the story.
Yeah.
About how even though he's an immigrant, he rose up and he did the work he could while kind of forgetting about things along the way. It's a very classic story.
And it functions well as that story. I'm fine with it. I just think that generally it has more to do with just like a set of criteria I have in my head for
so you think that Broadway is a classist thing that trickles down.
Broadway's audience is 80% white. It's 80% white. The tickets for Hamilton go for as much as like $3,000 a ticket.
Right.
It's the Reaganomics of media.
Yeah, except it's all white people paying a shit ton of money for poor artists. You dumb idiot.
Which is...
It's the reverse. It is artists taking advantage of the rich white people to overspend money on tickets and wine and all this other stuff. And why do you say no? Why do you say no?
I mean, in order to even get a production considered for Broadway, you need the backup of producers that are going to funnel the money that they have into it. So the idea that, I mean, and Lin-Manuel Miranda worked his ass off to get to the point that he's at. He didn't start there.
No, exactly. Are you saying that everybody in Broadway is just somebody who started there?
No, that's what I'm saying. The opposite of Broadway is a I mean, that's like the culmination of a. I mean, he worked really hard for a good long time to get there. But I'm saying that in order to get to that point, you need all of the like backup production stuff. So it no longer is a
production
starving
comes from
artist.
their overpriced tickets. Tickets.
It just no longer is a production of a starving artist. Then that's like, smoke and mirrors.
No, it's not. It's a production of artists who are still taking money from a bunch of rich white people paying for the tickets. Because it doesn't matter if that's the thing. Because it's still like, oh, hey, here's the show that we're releasing so people everywhere can still produce their own version of the show. And music is still being produced, and we'll let you, buy that to perform it. It's, like, your sense of Broadway is like saying people we did a good job showing da-da-da-da. We're really showing the world.
I do like the aspect of taking the rich people's money. But I think that it's just sort of an out of touch audience. So like Dear Evan Hansen is an example, right? That happened recently where that,
that was a terrible movie.
So I didn't see it, but I hear it's terrible.
Here's the thing. Here's the reason why. It's because even they got the same guy to play a high schooler. He looks so out of goddamn place in that movie because he's not a teenager at all.
Yeah, and I feel like that sort of thing can work better on stage, possibly. But I think that probably what the case was with that musical is that it always sucked. And it was
no.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
Here's the thing.
Didn't go see
you
it.
say these misinformed things. And that's how you form an opinion. You do this all the time. That's my biggest issue. Is like, listen, I didn't see this, or I don't experience this, or I know little to nothing about this. But I hate it inherently. You are the enemy, Kevin. Do you know that? Oh, I almost called you.
Oh, you did. That's fucked up.
Sorry.
You have to bleep that.
You gotta bleep that. That's more work for you. That's more work for you. You gotta bleep that. That was at the 39-minute mark.
And then people are gonna be like, what did he bleep? What did he say?
Nothing. Listen.
It wasn't anything inappropriate. It just, on a personal level, was bad.
Eric.
What?
I want to just say this right now.
What?
You immediately thinking some way without experiencing, learning more about something, or seeing the thing, that thing that you're doing is the thing that you hate the most. So I don't understand what you're doing right now.
This is the audience that unleashed Cats on the world. They.
No, it's not. That's Hollywood.
No!
Yes, it is. The show Cats and the movie Cats are two different things.
So...
Have you seen the show Cats or listened to the music from it?
No!
You haven't, have you? So why the fuck are you attacking something you don't know?
I mean, I have not seen a stage
You're
production.
You're the worst!
I have not seen a stage production of Cats because I don't hate myself enough to go put myself through that.
Judging something.
But I have listened to Cats, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
And it's not something for me. It just is not for me. And are you gonna? All right, defend Cats. Cats.
All of your hate and stances come from a place without knowledge, without experience. Yeah, because you don't experience anything. This is like a few episodes ago when not a few. Yeah, last episode when you were like, I don't think Venom is gonna be in the Sinister Six. I'm like, did you see the post-credit scene? I know about it, what happens. I'm like, then this happens, like, okay, I didn't see it, I don't know what's happening.
No,
It's
fair.
this! You don't know because you don't try to put yourself in a knowledge of knowing. You're not trying to learn more about a thing. You're just trying to immediately hate it because you view it from a lens where, like, oh, rich people are doing it? That's classism and I hate it. Jeez.
I don't like cats.
I am asking you to just, before you shit on something, know something. You're allowed to shit on something if you've experienced, learned about it, or know about it. If you don't, that just makes you an uneducated, ignorant.
So part of my argument. Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Well, that's how it feels. You're attacking something I love.
Part of my argument.
And the reason that you don't love it is because you have a misunderstanding of the thing.
Part of my argument about Broadway relates to its inaccessibility. I don't have a way to access it.
Broadway itself, like the actual Broadway in New York, is just a fucking like street that has a bunch of shows. You have a way to access it. You have the ASU Gammage. That's where I saw Hamilton, and my ticket was only $90. Which is like a concert, except it's usually longer than a concert, and you don't have to be outside in the cold.
Yes.
Your view of Broadway is just a street. Like, you're saying all Broadway is this. I'm like, no, that's the street. Broadway is a street that has shows on it. Those shows travel and go everywhere else. You have access to it. It's usually affordable.
But the
it's
way
just
that
New York itself is expensive as fuck, and if you try to do something in New York, that's New York.
But the way that it gets to you is
via
through
Disney
those
Plus
channels. No, it's
via
through,
Disney Plus.
I mean, but the reason that it's there, the reason that it got there is because it had to filter through all of those.
Hamilton was
Broadway
originally
channels.
an off-Broadway show that got so popular off-Broadway that they brought it to Broadway and changed it.
Which is
So
great.
no, that's not how that works. That's how all shows work. Not all shows are made to be on Broadway.
Yeah.
Shows start off somewhere else, gain popularity, and get to Broadway.
Yes.
Broadway is the big leagues, quote unquote, for shows in New York.
Yeah.
So no, it's not inherently made to be a Broadway thing.
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean that it has to there's only one way for a show or an idea to get through those channels, and it's through those like 40-something stages on that tiny little street where you have to pay a ton of money and be in a specific place and have all these things, because Hamilton has been around for a while.
Do you say that about music?
Well,
because I don't listen to most popular music. I listen to like music that's recommended me through Spotify or through YouTube Music. Like that is a take that, yes, but there's you think it has to go through these things when it doesn't. One of the most popular, like even TikTok popular musicals right now is the Death Note musical. And that is not on Broadway, motherfucker.
See, I do want to see that.
You should listen to it. It's really fucking good.
That sounds awesome.
The first song is a banger. Actually, the first, 2-3 songs are bangers, which is crazy. But it's so weird to me that you hate on something because of how it came about.
Yeah, and I think that I am that way, unfortunately, in regarding.
Why don't you hate every Star Wars game?
Because of the way that it. I mean.
Why don't you hate every Star Wars game? They're all money grabs.
Well, listen, it's the same thing.
Why don't you hate Ewoks?
It's the same thing as like Hamilton itself is an important musical, and it's fun to watch to some degree. I guess I'm not that into musicals, but it's a good one. It's just sort of in the back of my mind the whole time that that aspect of it, and I'd say that it's sort of the same for other things for me a lot of the time. I have a hard like Spotify. You mentioned Spotify, right? And it's like, okay, well, but that's still like they have curated, and you have to have the ability to upload your music to that platform in order to do it. And there's things like Bandcamp that circumvent that. But it's just sort of an unavoidable aspect of I guess the society that we live in that I'm not not
if
crazy
you don't
about.
have a way for things to spread, then it's not gonna spread.
Yeah, and that's why you need platforms like that. I just think that of all of them, like so the moviegoers, I think are like around it's around like 50-ish% white right now, which is still like the majority, but it's more diverse. So that is a channel.
I really hope you looked up that fact before you yelled it across the podcast.
I mean, I think you can look it up. It's something close to it, I think. But so I have less of an issue with that because it's accessible in a way that's meaningful to me. And I guess the same with Spotify. I don't know what their demographics are like, but I imagine they're better than Broadway. Broadway is just the from my knowledge, it is the least accessible, and that bothers me because then the way that you're able to access it is very controlled, and that I think you're right. Doing stuff like off Broadway or having different avenues to access those things, that's awesome. I'm like 100% for that.
Because that's how you actually look at those shows, though. Not everybody goes to fucking Broadway.
Right.
Broadway is just, hey, look at the show that's on Broadway. Oh, I heard that's on Broadway. We should go look at it at our local theater or look for it online.
Or televising those kinds of events, too, is a good step in the right direction.
They put them on movies.
Yeah,
they do
or like,
movies.
yeah, they have like limited run things where you go buy like a movie ticket and go see the thing.
You can see it, yeah.
It just, and they're on the right track, but it just needs to
No,
get
that's
better.
always been like that. Broadway is literally Hollywood for musicals.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
So like, yeah, no, like but like that's where usually the best performers are at because they're producing the most over there, and then when that gets produced and they record like soundtrack recordings and stuff like that, it gets spread out. And to watch the show, people will go to a local thing most of the time.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people go to actual Broadway, Eric.
Yeah, I know. That's my point.
Because it's all the way in a specific spot in New York.
I know.
Not because it's not a thing.
So my main argument is just that then needs a wider avenue for people to get their shows involved and distributed. That's all.
It does. Everybody has shows everywhere. I just don't think you realize that part.
But as far as like the producers and the people involved,
they only get stuff from that point. They don't get stuff from the other shows around.
Yeah, but I mean, you really think that like, because there's money in keeping it the way that it is, and they know that, and they're.
That's not how theater works. As soon as a script gets handed off to somebody else, the director can change shit and do whatever the fuck they want and do their own version. It's a live performance show. It's not a repeated DVD that gets passed around.
I mean maybe this just has to do with I don't know where the disconnect is here, but I guess that maybe it has to do with what
I think you just want to hate the rich and you just want to find any reason to do it.
No, well, but just I think that maybe there's because what I see is a pretty select group of people being able to manipulate the market to what they want it to be and make a fuck ton of money. And I don't know, like there are producers on Broadway, right, that are like, no, we're not going to put that on. We're not going to put this on. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And they're the ones that pump this stuff, regardless. And I mean, that's just the way it is.
I think I think you are seeing producers as only money oriented. And I think it's because you're used to video games.
Well, actually, no. So let me say
movies
something.
and
I
stuff
think
like
that actually the team behind Hamilton specifically had some of the better intentions that I've seen.
That's theater. That is theater.
Production goes.
And that is theater.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think theater in general.
I think it is, and I think you don't see that theater aspect of it.
Maybe.
Because you're not a part. You're not in that world.
Maybe.
It's a not understanding. It's a refusal to understand too, because you're not even attempting to view it from another viewpoint.
I am not going to I guess in saying this I will get on that level, but I'm not going to get to your level and insinuate that you are not educated about this. But
I'm not saying you're
educated.
I'm
would
saying
urge
you're
you
not trying to learn.
I would urge you to read some articles or writing on the process by which these shows get produced, because it is
Have you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's
for specifically on Broadway.
Yeah.
So you hate anything that comes, like, Broadway is just a platform for musicals to get bigger. Literally, that's Broadway is a platform. It's a street in which shows can get bigger.
It is an opportunity for that. Yeah, but I think
what is
mostly
Twitch? What is YouTube? What is Facebook gaming?
Listen, I have problems.
What are those?
I have problems with those as well.
What is this? What is TikTok? What is Spotify?
It's just an issue of accessibility then. I just think, like I said...
The accessibility is everywhere. People do it. If the show gets good traction, it spreads to the masses, and they do tours. They just have people doing their own versions of the shows at their local theaters. That is what theater is. Those are what shows are.
Yeah, but there's still that initial gate up where if there's something on YouTube, somebody directly has an idea, posts it there, and then it has the potential to catch on if people like it. That does not happen. The same way, like in movies, right? That I have a similar issue with. The end result on the end of that is at least continuing to gain accessibility and diversity at a faster rate. So I'm like a little more okay with that. But
so your thing is like accessibility, and you still think Broadway shows are accessible,
right?
But they are, because you can literally go to any bookstore, buy the book, and have the show, or you can go to any local theater and see the show.
But that's after a very long.
Not
process.
a very long time. Not a very long time at all. It's not that long a process.
I mean, I think it's too long. I think it's too long, and it's too sterile, and that's my issue with it.
Sterile? How is it sterile?
Because it just goes through these like 6 people who control all the money. I mean, not 6, but like
everything goes through people who controls money.
Not when you put something on YouTube.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. That's YouTube. That's YouTube people.
But it's still a direct access thing. So I
can Google right now any fucking Broadway show and have it on my phone. Direct access. Your point is invalid there.
I would just urge you to read a little bit about the process.
You urge me to read a little bit about the process, but you're complaining about the accessibility. I have it on my phone. I could go to a local theater I know is playing, it's like 3 different musicals right now. They're actually doing Rent this weekend. Because, Tick Tick Boom's popular, and also Rent's a Christmas show.
Christmas, yeah.
And like this, your arguments are accessibility. Accessibility's there. Another argument is what? People having production and a lot of like just money.
Well, so, and I just don't know. I don't know if we could get around this idea, but the accessibility.
Okay, we talked about accessibility and how you can literally grab it on the phone, and you say that's not enough.
No, I don't think that it's enough, because that's...
How is it not enough?
Well, I think that the answer then is having more avenues.
You just want it to be cheaper on Broadway, is what you want.
Well, yes, yeah, definitely. But aside from that, I think having more access to grassroots productions in smaller settings is a good thing. So the more of that there is, the better.
There always is.
You just sort of need to continue to take that power away from that one section of New York City is what it is.
I think you're exemplifying how powerful
stories.
New York Broadway is.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I am. But
I think you are. I think you are. And the fact that you're like, I don't know that I am, when it's something you don't... Like, did you look into this? And you're like, do you have articles for me to read that'll make me be like, oh, this changes my entire view?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like...
Or are you just saying you need to read more?
No, I mean, I have, I guess, specific things that I could find again and send to you. But there's some good stuff about that, I guess. I just think, you know, there is influence there.
There's influence everywhere. In all of the media that we enjoy. It's not taking away from the art, though. Look me in the eyes and tell me you hate Star Wars, because you should then.
Well, I think that creative ideas can get diluted because of something like that, and you see that in Star Wars often. But you also, I guess, need the budget, unfortunately, to get something like that out there, and that's where the crux is.
The world is filled with compromise. Bro, the world is filled with compromise.
I suppose. But I do sort of prefer the like direct avenues that have come that have emerged in recent times, like YouTube and Twitch and I guess TikTok.
Which have their own rules and a bunch of people copyright striking everything and taking things off. Silencing people immediately that they don't like.
Yes, sometimes.
This is the life. Bo, 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 bo.
But you at least have a more direct line to the people that want to see what it is that you're doing, and I like.
You have that here.
I mean,
on the internet.
I just disagree.
You disagree by just saying you disagree, without giving me any info on why you disagree, which makes me so frustrated. That's not an informed disagree to me. That is I disagree because I want to disagree.
Well, no, I mean, I disagree because if you're looking at the structure of like a Broadway production, right? You have the people who own the theaters.
Do you have access? Are we talking about the access of it or not? Because now you're changing a different topic.
Well, and
changing the topic on it. Is this the accessibility?
I mean, I think that it's
of the show. Yes or no? Is it the accessibility or not? It's not then if it's not the accessibility.
Well, but see, I think that's just where you and I disagree. That I think that you're okay with the end product that you're given in that case.
If it's good, yes.
And I would say that they need to do more. They just need to do
more. What?
They need more avenues for people to get their productions shown in a more diverse setting, quicker, and not have, you know, this very specific audience that is so out of touch that it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't reflect the state of the nation, really.
So the audience doesn't reflect the state of the nation?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Broadway...
Are we still just talking about Broadway, then?
Yeah,
and I've said that Broadway is not the only way to access this. There's so many other ways. Literally, your phone. And you disagree with that.
But so now we're back where we were.
But you're not telling me why that's not... So then we're issuing with Broadway. Then we're arguing about Broadway's specific accessibility.
Yes. Not the fact that what they decide will be successful.
Stop saying that Broadway is like all musicals are Broadway, because they're not.
I know,
that's you to do.
And that's good. That's what I'm talking about. That's a step in the right direction. But I think that historically, I mean, Broadway theater has a huge influence over media in general.
Of course they have a huge influence, but that doesn't mean people don't have access to it. The people who like musical theater, the people who want to listen to these and look for these, they're the people like us on YouTube and on the internet looking for stuff and listening to it. They're not the people spending thousands of dollars on Broadway itself. That is not, in 2021, that is not how you hype up shit anymore, dude.
But, yeah, I mean, I get that, but just the idea that, you know, there's a very limited, very tiny number of musicals that have, like, represented anybody, any people of color in any way up to this point. That sort of thing. You'd think that there's nobody who's had an idea that has been shot down in those settings that was great.
Then they go somewhere else, not Broadway, to put it on.
Yeah, maybe. But
they put it on YouTube. There's Star Kid Productions posts a lot of shit on YouTube, and they do several.
And that's what I'm talking
musicals.
about. That's good. But I think that still the influence of Broadway specifically is too wide to ignore the fact that that those theaters and those people need to do more to
Why
open
do
that
they
up.
need to do more? And I say that, and the reason I say why do they need to do more is that, like, the stuff that they're putting on, although is high quality and is usually a very high produced show, is not the end all be all. It's not what you need. Okay?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And if that is the case, then it's good. That's moving then in a direction where you're taking the power away from that and giving it to a much broader audience. And that's what I want ultimately.
It sounds like you just hate rich white people and you think rich white people are the only thing going to Broadway.
Well, I hate rich people in general, Joe.
Sorry. It sounds like... But we were specifically
but
talking about color in your shows. We were specifically talking about color, race, and ethnicity in your shows.
Happen to be... Yeah, and I think that's important to get that shit out there. I don't know.
So then why are you putting down any... Like, if a show like that makes it on Broadway and a bunch of people pay money to see that show, doesn't matter who they are, if they pay money to see that show... and it changes the way they think even a little bit, don't shit on that. That's amazing. That's good. That's something we need.
That is the case for a very, very small handful of
but
shows
that
then.
Small
and that needs to change.
Shows
that
is worth it.
Yeah, oh yeah. It just needs to continue to improve. And it makes me a little sad.
Your whole issue with a whole genre is one production spot. Is a street in one spot.
I mean, I guess, but I think you're not giving enough credence to the history of Broadway and its significance and its influence.
I think history and significance is important, but we need to look at the now and what we're doing now. You're ignoring the now for history, which is what you should not do.
I'd say that the influence is still there.
I'm saying that it's obviously still there for what shows up on the fucking street. But the product itself, the thing that people go to see, is accessible everywhere. And that is changing things. It is.
Yeah. Okay.
New York prices are going up because that's just fucking New York and their prices. That city is never going to get cheaper. It's literally never going to get cheaper. I went there, I spent $90 at a bar, and I didn't even get buzzed. Like that shit is never gonna get cheaper, dog.
Yeah.
It's New York. It's only gonna build up and be more, and that's just what happens when a bunch of people are living in an area.
If there are more and more ways to circumvent that, then great. That's a way, but that's a way to fix that.
That's accessibility.
And that gives me some hope. I know.
Accessibility.
I know.
Then why did you fight me on accessibility for so long?
Because when it comes to shows like Dear Evan Hansen or Hamilton, those shows accessibility, they're conditional. The accessibility of those things are conditional.
And unconditional how?
I mean, they're based on the success that they have specifically on Broadway.
No, those shows were already out before they were on Broadway. They were accessible. It's just whether or not they were popular or not because of certain people. Popularity and accessibility are two different things. Those are two different things to argue about.
I mean, maybe.
They are. Not maybe. We're very accessible, but we're not popular. This is what we are. Do you see how they're two different things? Anybody, you can go on YouTube right now. Go to Xygni, which should be changed already, and look at our podcast, PhazeCast. Accessibility. We're on Spotify. You'll find clips of us on TikTok. We're so accessible. We are absolutely fucking accessible. Here you go. Access this. Oh, there it is. Right there. I'm so accessible. Am I popular? No. But you can get to me.
You did.
That is the difference between accessibility and popularity.
You did choose, though, only to make accessible your right butt cheek.
No, I was opening my ass.
Was a choice.
No, my asshole. I was opening my asshole.
There was an opening?
It was gaping, but I had pants on. So
that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Listen, I just think I think
your mind is set on this because you're trying to have a negative viewpoint because you don't want to attempt to have a hopeful viewpoint.
I would say that I do have a more hopeful viewpoint than I did yesterday before we had this conversation, because I didn't consider as much the fact that there are at least smaller avenues to get a stage production to people. I mean, I knew they were there, but you're right. You find all kinds of musicals that don't suck, and that makes me happy.
If I may, I am just Googling this now. Googling this right now as we do this. You live in Arizona.
I'm gonna Google more pictures of Topanga.
Oh, that's fine. You live in Arizona. Let's take a look here. Just the shows that are going to the ASU Gamage.
Listen.
What? No, that's accessibility, isn't it? Isn't it?
That's, yeah.
My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
Mannheim Steamroller Christmas. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Ooh.
Like the actual Frankie Valli? Or the show about Frankie Valli?
We're talking about shows. Why the fuck would I... I mean, it could... You know, it does just say Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. I don't think Frankie Valli is touring.
Is that the name of the show?
It's Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, yeah.
I don't know.
That's the name of a show.
Is Frankie Valli dead? Is he okay?
I don't know.
I gotta look this up.
Oh, it says concert. Man, no, I think he might be alive.
Wait, there's a concert? Oh, dude, he's old.
Yeah, he's like 87 years old.
He's alive. He's 87. He's gonna be
fucking 87 years old. All right.
I don't want to see that at all.
Hey, singers can keep their voice. You can't tell me singers can't keep their voice. They can still sound fucking good.
I'm going to see Elton John next year.
Oh.
That'll be fun.
He'd be good. He'd be good to see.
He kept his voice, kind of.
Accessibility is not popularity.
But also, I would say I think your accessibility is conditional.
How is it conditional when I have to have a phone and internet?
Well, there's that too, and I'll tell you
everything is that.
I'll tell you what. You want to get in a conversation about some kind of base income or needs, then I will go there too. But that's really not what we talk about here, Joe. I don't want to get into that. It's too crazy. I just want to talk about Sonic. So I want.
I think my final statement is that those who perform in theater and those who put on the shows, like producers are funded, but those who put on the shows are very mindful of, society and community as a whole. They're like, you gave me no, they're not, but I believe they are. I believe people who have worked through that, not inherently, but I believe that they understand that to be a performer is to be someone who puts on for the people. and that they don't care who, as long as they are entertaining, and that the people are, being entertained. And that to simply say that something is not good inherently, or is without thinking about all the aspects of everything, is small-minded. It's a lack of understanding of everybody else involved in everything, because you only see the big monster behind everything they're doing.
It's a big monster, Joe. It's a big monster.
Do we hate everybody who was in Nazi Germany when Hitler was in charge?
Well,
ooh,
that's a reductive argument.
Is it?
To take it to?
How is it reductive?
I just feel like it's absurd to take any argument into Germany and World War II territory. I would not go there. but
you could call them monsters. That's all I'm saying.
I think that
you say Lin-Manuel Miranda is a bad guy?
No, I think that probably if I hung out with Lin-Manuel Miranda, he would annoy me eventually. But I do like his...
He's a theater person. That is true. No, that's true. He's a theater person.
I do like... I liked his performance in Mary Poppins Returns. I like the song Shiny. Hamilton's...
He did all the songs produced. In that.
Yeah, but specifically I like the song
music.
Shiny.
Yeah, Shiny. You say Hamilton's well produced. You don't like any of the songs in Hamilton?
No, I do like the songs in Hamilton. They're good. Mm-hmm. It's fine. Lin-Manuel Miranda's a cool guy.
We got Encanto now.
I haven't seen that, and I don't really know much about it.
It's very good. It's very good.
Did you see it?
It's very good. Yes, we root for It's Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it's got music from him. We root for those who show diversity in media.
Hell
we
yeah!
Root for those.
That's why I'm.
So then, when you started to shit on Hamilton, I wanted to punch you in the face.
It's not. It's just the system.
Your idea, because I remember you said that oh, look at us, we put a black person on stage and made him George Washington, pat on the backs. When the reason why it was like that is because Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't know why I keep fucking up his name. Is because Lin-Manuel Miranda went on to say that he wanted our founding fathers to reflect the America that we have today.
And that's fine.
But it seems it's not fine enough.
The founding fathers do not reflect that, unfortunately. That's a whole different issue that I'm not going to get into because I just want to talk about Sonic. But we were founded
by some white colonizers. It's fine. It's what we grow from it. Grow from it.
And I think that's... I mean, history needs to be told that way. I get that it's a show for entertainment, but that ends up colloquially being the story that people know better. And that
I think Hamilton showed that the people who won the war in that first half were like, oh yeah, look at these heroes fighting against tyranny. And in the second half, look at these children arguing with each other because we don't know what to do with our government.
I mean, I don't think that the general population is smart enough to understand the nuances there. But that's another issue, Joe.
But we need to. But that just because they're not quote unquote unsmart enough to see that doesn't mean we can't put it on there. We need to put it on there. That's also what theater has been doing forever, is to subtly point out the shitty things around the world, and that people who realize it were like, oh fuck, no wonder. And then the people who don't are like, well, at least they're paying us money. That's theater throughout the world. That's also, comics.
Listen, my closing statements on this would be that...
Gotcha. Would be... And I won't argue with yours. I'll just listen to them.
No, I just think that it's a... So Broadway in general is a classist sort of system that they have set up. It's getting better. It needs to get a lot better before we get somewhere that I'm comfortable with as a consumer. I think it's good that there are other avenues now for I guess stage productions and other things to get their stuff out there. But it still doesn't change the fact that Broadway is a unfortunate powerhouse that may not be. I mean, it's just that's the way that it makes money. Is the way that it is, the way that it's always been, and that needs to change. But Hamilton itself is a pretty good musical. And then I guess my other closing statement is that in general, I just don't care for many musicals. So my enjoyment of that is limited to begin with, because it doesn't make sense to me that people would just be breaking out in song all the time. The suspension of disbelief for a musical is difficult for me. I also think that Sonic 2 is going to be a bad movie, and that Star Wars game is going to be great, and that
the first movie was a good movie, and the second movie looks like it's going to be better. I don't know what you're talking about.
And
I'll question that. I'll let you have your thoughts on Broadway. That's fine, but
and that's where I draw the line.
But if we want to take it back to what we were doing, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think.
You think it's gonna be a bad movie?
Well, yeah. I think.
Why?
Will I gain some enjoyment out of it? Maybe. But
did you think the first one was a bad movie?
Yeah, it's very bad.
Why?
I feel like I covered that. It's got really lame, non-connected jokes.
It's a fucking kids movie, dude. What are you trying to put it at? What standards are you putting it at?
I've seen good kids movies.
I know, you went and saw The Grinch 4 times in theater and it changed your life. I understand that.
Well, that doesn't count.
But that doesn't count.
That's not a good kids movie. What's a good kids movie is, I don't know, Ponyo or Coco.
Ponyo and Coco? Those are good kids movies.
It has to be 2 syllables.
It has to be the Rugrats movie?
No, it's too many syllables.
Oh. But it had Tommy about to kill his brother. Remember that intense
Yeah, when
scene?
Dill gets surrounded by the monkeys because
he was holding up like,
douses them in banana.
Bananas?
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
You want manners? Okay.
Well,
that scene haunts me. Because that's like a 1-year-old and a brand
Tommy was ready for blood.
Tommy was gonna murder his little brother, like straight up murder him.
Well,
the monkeys will rip you apart when I pour the bananas upon you, brother.
Final thoughts on the Rugrats movie. Movie is okay.
Dark. It was dark.
Next week will be even closer
right
to
Christmas,
the holidays.
Right?
Yeah, Christmas is right around the freaking corner.
We're not doing Life Day before you even say it. You texted me about it. I don't want to.
No, I just can't believe they did a comic about Life Day. I'm gonna read it.
Oh, you can't. You can't believe that I thought you would, because it's a major company trying to make money off of something stupid they did.
I like Life Day.
Sorry, you like Life Day.
I think Life Day is neat.
You as a person,
maybe
we can contradictions. We're not gonna watch Life Day. We're not gonna talk about Life Day.
I think most people are. It's a learning experience to be alive, and I'm just trying.
That's true. I just wish you would try to learn. Anyway. I'm sorry. I love you. You know that, right?
I know.
Oh, good. You piece of shit. Let's talk about something. This is a long one again.
We just have a lot to talk about.
We always do.
And ramble.
Let's
talk about the Star Wars holiday special next week.
Let's not.
All right, we're doing it. Goodbye, everybody.
No, we're not.
It's sealed.
Goodbye,
the fate is
everybody.
sealed. Bye.
I love
you.
Bye.
Happy Christmas.
Well, it's not yet.
Merry
Happy
December
Hanukkah.
15th.
Happy holidays. Merry
Hanukkah's
Christmas.
over. Goodbye.
Kwanzaa?
No, that's after. Okay, bye.
Kwanzaa after Christmas?
Isn't
Bye.
Bye.